Voxengo Teote is a plugin which will auto-improve the sound of your mix by adjusting it to a proven, pleasant-sounding mold. In this video I will show you how it sounds and works so you will know if it will fit your workflow. Hi, I'm Marlon and I read the manuals so you don't have to. By definition, Teote is a spectral mix balancing tool which is a sort of dynamic equalizer, but it uses only multi-band dynamics processing. Teote means that's easier on your ears. And I say that Teote operates smoothly and soothes your sound. The plugin auto-adjusts your audio to the spectral profile you set here. These profiles are the pleasant sounding molds I mentioned. The plugin works well on master tracks and both individual tracks and group buses. And with just the plugin on every track in its default setting, the mix will go from this to this. And I haven't even tweaked anything yet. So how does Teote work? Teote adjusts the overall loudness per band based on momentary level measurements, very similar to what Love's loudness does. The number of bands can be set from a very low 3 bands to 64 bands, and with that you can dial in how precise you want the plugin to operate. Increasing the number of bands will also increase the CPU usage. On the left side you have the dynamics section, which works somewhat like you would expect from a compressor and expander. The boost threshold is your baseline, so to speak, and best used with more dynamic material. If you crank it, you can easily overcompress your audio. The bass attack and bass release control is the attack and release time settings. What is interesting about this plugin is that this doesn't set one common attack and release for every band, but the lowest frequencies get the slowest attack and release time, and for every higher frequency this gets a little shorter. This will result in a very natural sound. The channel link sets the linking between the audio channels. It's best left close to 100 for natural results. Having linking to 0 can result in weird artifacts since every channel is processed independently of each other. High timing works like the compression ratio of a compressor. And over here you set how the plugin estimates the loudness. Every preset will have a different sound, it helps to experiment. With mastering, you enable a special mastering mode, which is gentler with processing. On the right side you'll find the EQ spectrum profiles. And you can change the slope. -4.5 is standard, and by turning the dial down you get more of an increase in the low end, and by turning it up it will give you more higher frequencies. This is handy for the overall sound, but also on individual tracks to get a more open mix when you dial in these dials differently for all tracks. The room dip is meant to counteract the unbalanced mixing you can get due to poor acoustics, and will enable a wide 2.5 decibels dipping EQ. This also works well to create room in, for instance, guitar, or to remove some honkiness in drums. You have a high and low pass as well. This helps cleaning up your audio. And you can switch between a smooth 6 dB per octave or a more steep 12 dB per octave roll-off. If you only need to process a certain part of the frequencies, you can enable Apply to Range. The high and low cut will then serve to set the low and high frequency points of this frequency area. The effects dial is your dry-wet mix control. So if you have set the plugin to work pretty extreme, it helps to blend in some of the original dry signal. I preferred the plugin to be used as preparation for further mixing. It helps to smoothen out frequencies, so further mixing is easier. Teote is another plugin which does this kind of EQ and mix fixing. So how does it compare to Soothe 2, Gullfast, Smooth Operator and de-essing? Watch the video on screen for that. It will be online very soon. In the meantime, check out my Smooth Operator review. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to stay in the loop on the latest resonance, suppressor and auto mix plugins. I'll see you in the next one.